The crisp mountain air of Pahalgam shattered. It was early April 2025. News first trickled out. An Indian Border Patrol unit ambushed near the tense line of control. 5 soldiers lost their lives. A grim start to a dangerous month. The valley held its breath, fearing more. On April 22, 2025, terror struck deep. Pahalgam, a haven for tourists, became a scene of carnage. Attackers targeted unsuspecting civilians. The death toll climbed quickly. Reports cited between 26 and 30 lives lost. Many were visitors from across India and Nepal. An Indian Navy officer was among the victims. Local Kashmiris also perished in the violence. The attack was brutal, calculated. The stage for a wider crisis was set. India's response was swift and sharp. Accusations flew towards Islamabad immediately. New Delhi blamed Pakistan for the border ambush and for the subsequent horrific tourist attack. Pakistan just as quickly denied all involvement. Such denials were standard procedure, but the stakes felt dangerously higher this time. Old wounds were torn open once more. The subcontinent watched, hearts in mouths. A familiar drumbeat of war began. Both nuclear-armed nations began to mobilize. Troops were rushed to the border regions. Missile batteries were reportedly readied. The situation escalated with alarming speed. India, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, vowed action. He promised to hunt down those responsible. Military options were not ruled out. The Indus Waters Treaty, a vital water-sharing pact, was suspended. This was a significant and aggressive move. It signaled India's deep anger. While tensions flared openly, shadows stirred. Behind the public posturing, quiet moves were made. Sources indicate a flurry of clandestine activity. Within a mere 72 hours, they say. 72 hours of the initial Border Patrol ambush. Long before the tourist massacre hit headlines, senior diplomats began to meet. These were not scheduled discussions. They were off the books, urgent and secret. The locations remain undisclosed, naturally. The key players in these hushed talks, representatives from an unlikely trio, the United States of America, the Russian Federation, and critically, Pakistan. India, the other protagonist in the crisis, was notably absent. This exclusion would later become a major point of contention. For now, the focus was on immediate de-escalation. The secret talks were not just for show. Sources suggest a concrete, if unacknowledged, deal was struck. The United States reportedly took a leading role. Its diplomats allegedly pressured Pakistan, pushed them to cooperate but discreetly, to take visible yet controlled steps to de-escalate the soaring tensions with India. Pakistan, caught in a delicate position, had to listen. The nature of this cooperation remains murky, but it was a key component of the alleged pact. Russia, too, played a crucial part. Moscow offered to mediate the crisis, a role it has sought to expand in the region. However, this mediation came with conditions. Strict conditions, according to insiders. India must commit to no further military escalation, a significant demand given the public mood in India, and Pakistan must demonstrably contain elements, a euphemism clearly for militant groups. Section 5. Veil of Silence, the media's muted tones. As the crisis unfolded, another quieter drama played out. It concerned the flow of information, or rather the lack thereof. There are strong suggestions of a media blackout, not a total censorship, but a careful management. Leaked emails have surfaced, sources claim. Emails purportedly sent to foreign correspondents. From their editorial desks in Western capitals, the instructions were allegedly clear: downplay the escalating tensions. The rationale given was to prevent public panic, to avoid inflaming an already volatile situation. However, critics argue it served another purpose. It allowed the secret diplomatic maneuvers to proceed without public scrutiny or pressure. Tweets from prominent military analysts vanished. Key voices offering real-time insights went silent. Coincidence? Some find that hard to believe. The digital trail grew faint at critical moments. Section 6. Russia's Gambit. A new power play unfolds. Russia's involvement was multifaceted and shrewd. Moscow has long been a traditional ally of India, a supplier of defense equipment and a diplomatic partner. Yet, Russia's geopolitical interests are evolving. President Putin publicly called for restraint, a standard diplomatic posture for a major power. But behind the scenes, Russia was playing a deeper game, a game aimed at enhancing its influence not just in South Asia, but across the continent. This crisis offered a strategic opportunity. Moscow has been seeking deeper access into Afghanistan and, by extension, Central Asia. This necessitates a working relationship with Pakistan. Islamabad holds significant influence in Kabul. Brokering peace or even appearing to would be a coup. It would position Russia as an indispensable power broker capable of navigating complex regional rivalries. This serves Russia's broader aim to counter Western influence and assert its own. Section 7. America's angle balancing acts in a shifting Asia. The United States also had complex motivations. Washington's primary concern in Asia is often China. The growing influence of Beijing is watched with unease. Pakistan, despite a sometimes troubled relationship, is still viewed by some in Washington as a potential if imperfect strategic counterweight, or at least a nation not to be lost entirely to China's orbit. This thinking heavily influenced the U.S. response to the Pahalgam crisis. It was a delicate balancing act. Publicly, U.S. officials, including then-President Trump, condemned the attack. They expressed solidarity with India. This was the expected diplomatic stance. Privately, however, the calculus was different. The alleged pressure on Pakistan to cooperate, to de-escalate tensions with India, was aimed at several objectives. Firstly, to prevent a wider conflict, a conflict that would destabilize the entire region and divert U.S. attention and resources. Secondly, it was about managing India. Section 8. The economic undercurrent. Pipelines, ports, and promises. Beyond the immediate security concerns and the intricate geopolitical chess moves lay powerful economic motivations. Some analysts speculate these were central to the secret deal struck after Pahalgam. The most significant of these was the Energy Corridor, a proposed trilateral project involving Russia, Pakistan, and the U.S. This was not just a pipeline, it was a vision of a new trade route connecting Russia's vast energy reserves. This corridor would run through Pakistan, ultimately reaching the Arabian Sea, granting Russia access to warm water ports, a long-held strategic ambition for Moscow. For Pakistan, it promised transit fees and significant infrastructure development, a potential economic lifeline for the nation. For the U.S., involvement could mean influence over energy flows and regional economics, and perhaps a way to integrate Pakistan more firmly into Western-friendly economic structures. This project, if realized, would be transformative. It could significantly alter global shipping maps and reshape energy politics in Asia. The speed at which this alleged part of the deal surfaced suggests it was perhaps already under discussion. The Pahalgam crisis may have provided the impetus, the leverage needed to push it forward. Section 9. India Adrift Alliances Tested, Futures Reimagined. The alleged secret deal had a profound impact, especially on India, which felt excluded. Reports from New Delhi suggest a sense of betrayal, a feeling of being blindsided by its allies and by nations it considered strategic partners. The United States, a key Quad member, and Russia, a long-standing defense supplier, both were now part of a pact with Pakistan, a pact from which India was conspicuously absent. This exclusion stung deeply. Analysts believe this incident could trigger a permanent shift in South Asian alliances. Traditional alignments are now under scrutiny. Groupings like BRICS and the SCO, where India, Russia, and China share a table, may see new tensions and recalculations. The Quad, central to Indo-Pacific strategy, could also face questions about trust and cohesion if one member engages in such covert diplomacy without fully consulting another key partner. The foundations of these alliances tremble. The balance of power in the region appears to be quietly tilting, not through overt military actions this time, but through these subtle diplomatic maneuvers. India, accustomed to a central role, found itself on the periphery of critical decisions directly impacting its security and interests. The Indian media, initially focused on the attacks, began to shift its tone as rumors surfaced. Frustration became evident in newsrooms. Primetime anchors started demanding answers.